The Su-25 Frogfoot is Russia's most effective close air support aircraft to date. It has seen intense combat as far back as the 1980s, and the current Russian special military operation in Eastern Europe has been no exception. The Frogfoot has faced tenacious resistance from the Ukrainian defenses, which has led to multiple shootdowns by anti-aircraft fire and jet fighters. And in an impressive moment captured on camera in December of 2022, an Su-25 aircraft with a seemingly malfunctioning landing gear can be seen carefully approaching a landing strip in an attempt to land belly first. The brave pilot was now faced with the daunting task of using every ounce of his skill to make it out alive. Russian Sukhoi Su-25. The Frogfoot, or Sukhoi Su-25 Grach, is one of Russia's most effective CAS, or close air support aircraft, developed to date. Its origins can be traced back to the height of the Cold War, following the aftermath of the Vietnam War, when the Soviet Union and the United States began developing powerful, dedicated ground attack aircraft that could be used for any conflict. In 1977, the U.S. Air Force introduced the Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolt II, or Warthog, and a year later, the USSR did the same with Grach, or Rook, designated Frogfoot by NATO. Like the Warthog, the Frogfoot was a dedicated CAS aircraft, and the testing ground of the first two prototypes were the early days of the Soviet-Afghan War, where over 50 models flew more than 60,000 sorties and employed an arsenal that devastated the combat zones of Afghanistan. The Rook was armed with a Gryazev-Shipunov GSH-32 30mm autocannon with a devastating fire rate of 2,500 to 3,000 rounds a minute. The aircraft also has a nose-mounted laser rangefinder that makes the cannon extremely accurate. And it could be fitted with wing-mounted 23mm cannon pods and carry Fab 500 1,100-pound bombs. Modern equipment includes Vimpel R-73 highly agile air-to-air missiles and S-13T 130mm rockets. To match its CA support, the Rook was designed with a welded titanium armored compartment up to 25mm thick. The aircraft has been so successful that more than 1,000 have been built since its introduction in 1978. Moreover, numerous variants have ensured the Su-25 stays up to date with modern conflicts. A-10 Warthog competitor. Since its introduction, the Su-25 has been deployed in over a dozen global conflicts, from Georgia and Chechnya in Europe to Syria and Afghanistan in the Middle East. The Frogfoot has truly seen it all, leading analysts worldwide to inevitably compare it with its American counterpart, the A-10 Warthog. One key advantage of the Su-25 over the A-10 is its 34% higher cruise speed, allowing it to deliver close air support quickly and effectively to friendly forces under fire. Additionally, the Su-25's ability to take off from any surface, including dirt roads or uneven terrain, bolsters its CAS role, enabling it to be located closer to the front line and provide support in even shorter amounts of time. On the other hand, the Warthog has impressive long-range capabilities, with a longer flight time than the Su-25, thanks to its fuel tanks and its capacity to be refueled in flight. When it comes to armament, the Warthog was built around the powerful GAU-8 Avenger cannon. Although highly effective for its role, it is heavy and expensive, compared to the Russian GSH-32 gun, which is almost 3 times lighter, cheaper, and easier to maintain. Even so, the A-10 can carry twice the payload of the lighter Su-25, which takes the upper hand in speed and under armor. Despite their differences, both aircraft were designed with different military doctrines in mind and have excelled at their respective CAS roles. Hard landings. The Su-25 airframe was specifically designed to withstand and absorb damage from enemy fire, given its close air support role that involves performing low-altitude flights to accurately attack the enemy. and despite its robust design, the Su-25 has had to perform emergency landings in combat scenarios due to failures, combat damage, and weather contingencies. However, it has managed to survive such landings thanks to its well-designed airframe and its pilots' exceptional skill. Many of them have been belly landings, when the aircraft lands without landing gear and uses its underside to hit the ground. These landings are generally related to mechanical malfunctions. During these landings, the aircraft suffers extensive damage, often resulting in fatal crashes. They can flip over, catch fire, explode, or disintegrate depending on the speed and the terrain. Moreover, to increase their chances of survivability, the pilots must ensure their aircraft land as straight as possible while maintaining perfect control. And during the ongoing war in Eastern Europe, a lone Su-25 was caught on camera performing a perfectly executed belly landing. Vital emergency. On December 10, 2022, a video shot on a cell phone camera at a military airbase near the Ukrainian border and initially shared on open-source intelligence group Ukraine Weapons Tracker went viral. The shocking footage captures a Russian jet approaching a landing strip while unable to deploy its landing gear successfully. The pilot aboard the Frogfoot had no choice but to attempt a belly landing, flying lower and lower without reducing speed. As the aircraft scraped along the gray runway, an incredible amount of sparks flew, causing concern for the safety of the crew and aircraft. As the aircraft dragged along the runway, 2 stop parachutes deployed from the back, slowing it down dramatically and reducing the distance it needed to travel on the ground to come to a halt, reducing the danger to the crew. The Open Intelligence Group reported that the full extent of the damage inflicted upon the Su-25 is unclear, but it is unlikely to be flying again soon. And although the precise site of the military plane's landing is still unknown, the Z marking on its vertical stabilizer is painted on Russian military vehicles and aircraft taking part in the invasion of Ukraine, where the Frogfoot has been providing close air support for Russian troops. As an operational warplane, the Su-25 in the video may have suffered battle damage, like a hit from anti-aircraft artillery or shrapnel from a missile. Nonetheless, the video showcases the bravery and exceptional skills of the pilot who managed to safely land the aircraft and avert a potential disaster. Aging aircraft. While the video of the emergency landing showcases the abilities of the Russian pilot, there are several theories around the actual cause, one of which is a mechanical failure. The Su-25 fleet, a Cold War-era aircraft that has borne the brunt of Russia's fixed-wing losses since the conflict began, may be struggling to be properly maintained on the battlefield, as indicated by the video. According to a November 2022 report by Business Insider, Russian soldiers have quickly used up their arsenal of fresh ammunition and are now firing off decades-old ones, significantly raising the risk of further malfunctions that could put their soldiers in danger. In the initial 8 months since the conflict began, the troops have brought down more than 278 Russian aircraft, according to Valery Zaluzhny, the commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian armed forces. With the conflict now over a year old, both sides have been losing multi-million-dollar aircraft at unsustainable rates. The Ukrainian Air Force began the conflict with only 125 combat aircraft, but with additional NATO support, the Ukrainians have managed to fight to a standstill with Russia. As such, the invaders have been forced to use aging aircraft and tanks, dating back to the days of the Soviet Union. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Dark Footage for more uncanny moments captured on camera. Also, be sure to check out all our other dark documentaries channels and stay tuned for new content every week.